Welcome to Griot Connects, where we celebrate the voices and stories of African American authors who inspire and captivate us. I'm your host, Yolanda Rasco, joined by my wonderful co-host, Tina Wise. And today we have a special guest. Joining us is the talented Michelle Cagle-Taylor. She's the author of Troubles Won't Last Always. So Michelle Cagle-Taylor is a gifted storyteller whose work really embodies the strength and resilience and the beauty of Black women. In her book, Troubles Won't Last Always, she introduces us to four dynamic women, Mia, Imani, Jasmine, and Summer. And they navigate their life challenges, really searching for love and supporting each other through that journey. Now, Michelle's stories really reflect the power of sisterhood, the importance of self-discovery, and the courage needed to overcome the adversities that we face in life. Michelle, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have you today. Welcome to Griot Connects.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Hi, Tina.
Hi.
The book is actually about four women navigating through the struggles of life when it comes to love. So, Trouble Won't Last Always was a bestseller worldwide, national published. So, it just meets a lot of women where they're at, when we go through trying to find love and how to navigate life and everything else when it comes to love.
Right. And T,
Yeah,
have we had to navigate life?
I have a map.
And love kind of always
Yeah.
comes into that. And it's not the easiest, but I would say also that's why I liked it. Like I enjoyed the fact that I could relate to the stories. I think they're very relatable. The characters, the personalities, you kind of get drawn into them. And I want to kick off by talking about one of the characters, one of the personalities, and that's Imani. Imani, for those of you who are the rock of your girl group, the crew, Imani was the rock. Like she was the one that everyone told all their secrets to, went to, etc. Tina, you were kind of that girl for a lot of us, right?
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, for me, but Imani, she was that girl, and as you probably know, there's a lot of upsides to having that role in the girl crew. There's also a lot of downsides to that. Like it doesn't always play in your favor. Am I right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I think all of us to some degree have Imani
In our world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the Imani, she takes all of the energy from everyone and she gives so much. I mean, how did you bring that character to life? Tell us a little bit about her, Imani.
Okay. Well, Imani is based off the personality of my mother. If you read the book, I use the women personalities of the actual women in my lives. So because my mother has always been the rock and we would go to her and we would share things with her, it's like back in the old days when grandma, was there for us to navigate us through life and circumstances. And so that's how I came up with that, because that's my actual experience of having an Imani in my life.
She was kind of like that big mama.
I was going to say big
in
mama
a young
for sure.
body.
Absolutely.
So when she get older, she'll probably be the big mama. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get that. And that was what I liked about Imani as a character. Yeah.
I liked Imani as a character, and I also found myself feeling kind of bad for Imani because she was the rock.
She was the rock.
She was the rock.
Yeah. You had another question, T?
Yeah. Mia, who actually was one of my favorite characters, she faces some of the additional challenges of being a highly intellectual Black woman. What's your thoughts about that?
Ooh.
I actually based Mia off of myself. Right. The story was loosely, it was actually loosely covered around my life circumstances, but it actually was a fictional story. So what I did was use the personalities. So that made it very real. So I didn't have to come up with it, but being a highly achieved and intelligent woman, we go through obstacles of not only navigating through life and circumstances and kids and mom and job, but we also go through trying to find love. As much as we don't say it, or as much as we say we don't need a man,
come on,
we
now.
actually, a lot of us don't want to admit that we want a man.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Shell. Stick a pin in that for a second. Cause I'm gonna say on the air, I'm a highly intelligent black woman.
I would agree with that.
I got some intelligence here. I got some credit, some credentials and everything like that and stuff.
Absolutely.
And so I can testify that there have been times where it has worked in my favor. And there have been times when it was also like it's a double-edged sword.
So I have a question.
All right, then.
So who do you feel like you had the most difficulty with in terms of accepting
that intelligence and that superpower and Okay, so you mean who? Meaning, is it male or female?
Male, female, black or white?
Okay, so here's the skinny. I think for me, societally, the challenges that I have received have been not from my peers. My female friends are always supportive. That's because they're my friends. I select good friends. I make good choices. Amen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
So that aside, now the males, it took me a long time, right, to realize that some of the pushback, I'll say, that I was getting from males was not because they weren't having a good time. I'm going to show you a good time.
Yeah.
All right, I digress. But the point is, they couldn't quite always keep up, and it started feeling pressure, right, for them to be able to hold a conversation. I mean, some of the things that I like and talk about and so forth, I'm familiar with. It's not that common. It's common to those who do a lot of reading, do a lot of travel. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, the pushback that I received largely as an intelligent woman came from my male counterparts. Now, that said, how did it impact my relationships? It took a long time for me to not use my intelligence as a weapon. Bam.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Bam.
Well, the funny thing about it is, for me personally, I think I had the most pushback from women.
Really?
Yes. And I have to throw this in. Yolanda and I actually went to an all-girls high school.
Yes, we did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we know how to relate to women.
Absolutely.
Like we get along really well with women. I have a huge female crew, but go.
I'm just saying that has been in the workforce and career. It has been other women who seem to have the biggest issue with the intellectual part of it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, we should do a survey, online survey or something, and just kind of put that out there. But yeah, and in this character, I mean, the whole pushback that she got was also tied to societal norms. It's not like she was really overbearing in the way that she presented herself or anything like that, like me. You know, she was she was humble about it. And I thought that was very inviting about her.
She was very humble. I think that the some of the pre-assumptions came to be with, and the story was that, okay, you're highly intelligent, you're successful, so you don't really need love like that, you know, kind of like you got it all together. But she had a deep yearning for a very very special relationship, and something that could fulfill the emptiness that she felt inside. But it was not until she developed a relationship with God that she was able to navigate through, you know, all the frauds before she actually found her prince.
I love that.
I do too.
It took her to go inward, right? And to find her spiritual self.
But
it did, right? It always seems to go back to that, T.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where I found myself. I mean, I ain't going to take y'all to church or nothing like that, but
she could.
I could. you know, but yeah, the point always seems to go back to that self-care, that introspection, and that is where our personal growth comes. I'm going to move to my next question about personal growth.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
one of the things that you do very well in this story is you talk about pain. It's a lot of pain. In fact, it's a lot going on in this story, by the way. Like, there are four characters, but they go through it. When I tell you it's not even a roller coaster ride. Before they can get on the downside of the roller coaster, they going back. You know, it's a lot going on.
Lord have mercy, it's a lot.
Hello. It's a lot, right?
It's a whole lot.
For anyone.
It made me just sit on the couch.
Right. Put the book down for a minute, take a cup of tea, you know, walk around, walk the dog.
I had to do that.
Yeah, because it's a lot. They go through, and I don't want to give it all away, but the struggles is my point. And but what resonated with me, if I can say it this way, is the pain through suffering. Right. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know about you, Tina, but I ain't trying to feel no pain. That's not mine. No, I'm not requesting pain so that I can grow.
But you know what? In a way, maybe we do request pain and strength. Because that's what we pray for.
Yeah. Who prayed for that?
I got over it.
You got over praying for that?
Praying for that.
Yeah, so you grew out of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, but talk about the need for, if you don't mind, talk about the need for challenges in order to experience personal growth. That's what I want to hear.
Well, I think sometimes the challenges are what, of course, make you strong. But I also am saying that one of the things that I found myself doing was to kind of perpetually put myself in the situations where I had to develop the strength.
So you were looking to grow and you became comfortable with being uncomfortable. Is that, can I say it that way?
Yeah, but I would say that one of the things, and this is what I meant when I said that I gave up praying for strength.
Oh, okay.
Because I kept getting the situations that made me strong. So they were answered.
They were answered, but it was painful.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
think
not.
that,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I just was going to say in reference to what Tina was saying is one of the reasons why I wrote the book. The book original name was Sister Struggle. And my editor, because I was with Kennison Publishing Company, daughter company. So the largest independent publishing company, and they was like, Sister Struggle does not fit it. So they changed the title to Trouble Won't Last Always, which is a new cover I have to show you guys. But the thing is, I wrote the book for that reason, so that women can see that you actually have to go through the pain in order to get to your healing.
Yes.
And that this is really what a lot of women go through. And I felt like if I wrote the book on the different situations that women actually go through, some of it is like, wow, this is a lot. But women go through a lot when it comes to love. And I wanted them to see that that God was literally the foundation to getting through those things. Like, until we come to the realization that we have to go through the pain a lot of times to receive our healing, and also to get to the point where God can bless us to be able to receive what he has for us. Otherwise, we'll be dysfunctional. We'll go into a dysfunctional mode.
Living that cycle.
That is what we have. Right. Exactly.
Blaming everybody else for our trouble.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And I have a question.
Okay.
Well, this is related to the different characters. Could you give us a word to describe each one of them? Like one word for each one of them?
I like that question.
Yeah.
Imani is strength. Jasmine was spontaneous, Mia was just Mia was love, and Summer was fresh air.
Yes, I would agree with those.
I would too.
Especially Mia was love.
Yeah, I think Mia was love.
Whooshy.
And part of her issue was that she was love.
Yeah, love is complicated like that. So Michelle, as you wrote this story,
Mhm.
and we talk about, the personal growth and the healing, and I'm sure that you have a personal story that relates to personal growth and healing. Can you share a little bit about how this book was cathartic for you in that it brought change in your life?
Mhm. The book itself was, I guess, life changing for me because it actually had to do with the fact that I'm the person who felt like the black sheep in my family. I felt neglected. I felt like, would there ever be love for me? And so I also experienced rape at a young age. So
Oh my
I was
God.
looking for love. And
Mhm.
so I had to go through a lot of experiences in order to understand that God was actually the center of that love. Like, and so the book actually was so personal for me because I really, really, really wanted to put those stories out there so that women could realize that love begins inside of you. Like that was the
Yes.
healing part that was the
Beautifully
healing
That
said.
part for
is
me.
that's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's
And hats
amazing.
off to you for being able to reflect on your trauma and find
Mhm,
something beautiful out of it
mhm,
and then
mhm,
allow it to benefit other people.
Yeah.
mhm,
That's what I love about storytelling. I just have to
mhm,
digress for a moment because that's kind of partly
mhm,
why we do this podcast, is because
mhm,
these stories allow us to share our narrative and likely it's
mhm,
It's going
resonating
to
with
resonate with someone
someone
else.
else
And it
mhm,
and
absolutely
give
did.
them an opportunity to
mhm.
have a similar experience or a better outcome to
Yes.
things. Tina, I'm sorry,
That's
what else you got,
okay.
lady
Well,
over
I'd
there?
like to know,
Mm,
um,
now
is
we in
there a,
trouble because she wants
no,
to know something.
I'm going to just ask, is there a person who really inspired your younger version of yourself?
um,
Don't say Harriet
I
Tubman.
yeah,
No, why you want to hate on
Everybody
Harriet?
say Harriet Tubman. I always used
I
to say that in
I
interview questions and stuff. I
I
always say Harriet Tubman because I thought that's what they want to hear.
No,
Harriet
you know what
Tubman.
I would say? You know
no,
when they
no.
ask you the thing about what your weakness is?
Yeah.
You want to know what the trick? This is a secret.
Okay, tell us.
I don't call my mother enough.
That's such a good one.
Oh,
Okay.
Just so you know.
So that one was
wow.
free.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyway, I
wow.
just
We
like
got
to
you all
know.
confused and
Yeah,
twisted.
I
We
know she's like
talking
these
about
people are crazy.
your younger self.
Who was the person that inspired that one?
Yeah.
Um, I would say Maya Angelou.
Ah,
I have to say
another
because of her
writer.
strength and the love that she has when she was just talking, doing her poems, the way she carried herself, that was really the inspiration. I can remember seeing her talk about the poem "I Am Phenomenal," phenomenal
Mm.
me, and I was like, wow, like the way her words came to life and the way she expressed every word, it was just inspirational to me.
I love Maya
I
Angelou
do too. And you
too.
know what I loved about her?
What?
She hid nothing,
I agree.
nothing
Yeah, you
about
talk about hitting.
her life.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, the struggles, the good, the bad, the ugly, the warts,
yeah,
all of it. I mean,
yeah. And Michelle, you really bring out a lot of the just go very blunt, with the stories
Mhm,
and is
mhm.
so it feels like Maya Angelou kind of was one of your inspirations in how you
Yeah.
write as well.
Mhm,
Yeah, I
mhm.
love the way that she brought stories to life and difficult
Yes.
stories to
Yes.
life. That
Yes.
again it's just kind of the beauty of words. Sometimes, I don't know about you, Tina, but there have been times in my life where I couldn't quite articulate what I was feeling or experiencing until I read a book.
yeah.
And the
Mhm,
language that the author used allowed
mhm,
me to understand my experience in a fresh new way.
Yeah, and it also
mhm,
sometimes helps you to identify it,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
mhm,
to
the
see
issue is,
myself. Yeah.
to kind of step out
mhm,
and would
Yeah.
say, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm,
Expand my perspective, all of
Absolutely.
that. Michelle, troubles won't
mhm.
last always. Kind of left us hanging just a yee bit.
That's a wee tad.
Just a wee tad. What else you
Okay.
got for us? Is there anything else coming that we can look forward to?
Yes, I have already done Trouble Won't Last Always too. So I've done it. I'm working on editing it
Uh-huh.
because it's been like years that people have been asking, are you going to tell us what happened with Cassius? Are you going to tell us what happened with all of your main characters? Like, how did their life go on from there? So I have just written Trouble Won't Last Always too, and looking forward to putting it out for you guys.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, sounds like another show.
Yeah, I think we'll have to have you back for that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
What did you find the most challenging about the writing process itself?
Oh, that's a good one.
I think the most challenging part was because I have these actual personalities in my life, like the personalities of the four women, also Jamal, Mike, the guys in the book. I actually use those personalities from men in my life as well. So the challenging part was actually writing the story and them actually saying, this is like my personality, but actually putting stuff in the story that they wouldn't get offended by or nobody would take personal because I had to bring those characters to life with that personality.
Oh, you mean you trying to say you had dirt on folks?
I think what she's trying to say is that people so much identified with the character that they decided it was them.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You had dirt on folks.
Just a little bit, probably. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
That
bit.
always makes for an interesting story,
Just a
though.
little bit. Is it me? Was it me that you were based this on? Was it me?
And I always wonder how authors do that. Like, do you have to go get signatures or whatever and say,
Well,
this is
I'm going to tell you a
coming?
little
No,
story.
as long as it's fictional.
It's fiction.
As long as
Okay.
it's fictional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although I do have a friend that was an author who, if you made her mad, she would write you into the book as a character and make the name so close
OMG.
to your own.
And I know who she's talking
Oh,
about.
wow.
We went to high school
Yeah,
together.
that you knew it was you.
Oh, wow.
And she probably made him a vampire
Yeah, she did.
or something weird like that.
Else, werewolf.
Yeah, because she
shadow
wrote a lot of
person.
fantasy and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
She would get you back like that.
Yeah, that sounded like her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was an excellent writer too, by the way. We
And
used to-
then swear, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, that sounded like her. We're not calling no names or
Not
anything.
any.
God rest her
No.
dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
none at all.
So I do have another question about the characters. Were there any specific scenes or characters that were hard to write? Okay, so not just because they were tough subjects. Like you wrote about a lot of very difficult moments in time in people's lives. And I always wonder, how does that feel as a writer when you have to very colorfully describe those times, those moments? What is that like? Can you tell us?
Yes. Well, in order to write a good book, you have to embody it. Like, you hear people say they became a character in the movie and they had to embody it. I also feel like to write a bestseller or a good book, you have to embody the character. So writing the difficult part about the fire in the book or the deaths that occurred, those, I actually cried when I wrote it.
Oh, wow.
Because it has to, I feel like in order to write a good story, it has to come through something on the inside that touches you. So it's difficult to write things like that. But it's also writing kind of saved my life, with everything I've gone through and my life story. So I would take those emotions and I will put it into a character or I will put it in a story. Otherwise, I don't think it's any good. So it can be difficult, but it's also therapeutic.
Yeah, very therapeutic. Well, it was therapeutic for us as well, I would say.
Absolutely.
Just kind of going through it and seeing the lives of those women and men and how they dealt with their day-to-day challenges. Yeah, that's kind of what it's about, is
And
the journey.
recognizing that little bit of ourselves.
Yeah,
in
seeing
each of
ourselves.
those characters. Yeah.
And seeing the positive outcomes. I mean, at the end of the day, it is about going through the struggle, like living through the struggle, surviving
And coming out on
the
the
struggle,
other side.
coming out on the other side, landing flat-footed, kind of getting there,
Yeah.
and not being so caught in the journey itself that you miss the blessings, you miss the opportunity to love the people around you and to experience their love and to know, that there is a tomorrow to look forward to.
Absolutely. To be reminded that without pain, there is no joy.
There she go again.
I'm just
That's
saying.
right. That's right.
All right,
That's
then. If you
Just
insist.
saying.
All right. Okay. All right, Shell. Thank you for coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And we're looking
ma'am.
forward to the next one.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Lighten
I
up,
enjoyed
though.
it.
Lighten up.
Yeah.
Give us some happy stories. You ain't got
Should
no
she go
happy
to
stories.
Tahiti?
I'm saying go on
Hawaii?
vacation before you start writing or something. Yeah.
Yeah, something
That's
like
what
that.
I would recommend. Tina, did you have a final question? I think I have a final question.
You
if
have a
don't.
final question. I really don't have a question.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is thank you
Oh,
for
very nice.
actually
She's so polite.
being one of the courageous people to actually do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It takes a lot of courage to just go ahead on and put pen to paper. There is nothing worse than that screen with the blinking cursor.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you
I'm
so
glad
much.
you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you. We look forward to your next venture or adventure. And please feel free to share any new and upcoming ideas for new books going forward. Thanks again for joining Griot Connects, and
Thank
thanks to
you.
our audience for
Thank
dialing
you for having
in.
me as your sidekick.
Of course, we love you. Listen, we hope that you enjoyed hanging out with us today. I sure enjoyed every minute of it.
And as my dad used to say, don't take any wooden nickels.
Oh my God. Yeah, but we love really uncovering the great stories and the insights of all of these great authors and doing it with you.
And doing it our way with
Yeah.
a little bit of savoir-faire.
Savoir-faire. So this is Griot Connects, and we're here where you can meet the minds behind the story and where the narrative lives on. Thanks so much for joining.
Bye-bye.